You're listening to the Be Forever Cool podcast. My name is Rex45. And, every time I say that, it reminds me of the time when I was in Boston. I used to always say I'm on the mic every Monday from this time and all that, but it's different. But every once in a while, I want to slip that in. But it's the Be Forever Cool podcast. And this is a Tuesday night. And I'm excited. I get to interview a fellow motorcycle rider, racer, track day guy, motorcycle community guy, because he does do things in the community as well, and spreading the love of the two wheels, which we all love, and that's kind of what he goes by on social media. Two wheels, one chain, and I like it. Because without a chain, you know what I'm saying, you only got two wheels, and I also think of two chains too. So I feel like I'm already in good company, and I haven't really got a chance to know this dude yet. But with no further ado, let's bring him in for sure on the Beef Forever Cool podcast. Welcome to the show.
Hey, what's up, brother Rex?
Man, welcome, man. I appreciate you coming on and taking the time and also being flexible. Believe it or not, it doesn't normally happen. We have to keep asking someone to change their schedule for me, but I really appreciate that to the utmost, because I do value everyone's time, and being punctual is a good thing. So, man, I thank you for taking the time out. And absolutely, I know you told me your name initially, and I'm bad with names. So that's why I go by Rexy and not my government, because I'm pretty bad with names. But
Harrio is my nickname. It's not my government name.
Got you, Harrio. Two wheels, one chain. No doubt, man. Welcome to the show, man. How you doing tonight?
Man, I'm doing great, man. I've been following you guys for a while, man. I like you guys' content, and I've been so anxious to jump in the mix with you all, especially when you guys talk about the MotoGP racing and all that, because I've been following that ever since I was like a youngster. So I've just been so excited to jump on this podcast and try to get in the mix with you all. So, hey, I'm looking forward to it tonight.
Okay, that's what's up, man. I appreciate the words, and you definitely been following. As if you've been following, you already know you've been watching MotoGP before I was watching.
Yeah,
you already on the bike before I was. So I'm a late bloomer, man. No doubt. And I'm not trying to pretend otherwise. So yeah, how did you get into two wheels, man? How was it for you? As you already know my spiel. So how was it for you when you first got on two wheels, man?
Okay, man. So man, we can go back to the 80s, man. So
go back to the beginning, man. To the beginning.
Okay, so man, I'm originally from Birmingham, Alabama, and my dad really got me into to motorcycle racing, right? Motorcycle racing, all that stuff. Like even before I was born, my dad raced motorcycles in Alabama.
Okay.
So drag racing. So I think I have a picture. I think I have a picture on my on one of my Instagram pages where one Christmas my dad got me like a 3-wheeler Kawasaki, man. It got me my red helmet, and my dad had a motorcycle, and he used to put me in between his legs, man. I can remember some of that stuff, right?
All right, let's talk about the years, though. We got. I know. Listen, I'm an '80s baby. Yeah. So let's talk about the years, man. What year was that?
Maybe like
what you remember,
80, I was born in 1980, so like 84, 85, maybe, like, because that's the furthest I can go back in my history of consciousness is like 1984 for sure. Okay, 1984, 1985, around that time, right?
Yeah.
And man, I fell in love with it, man. And ever since then, I've just been like chasing it, and then growing up and being going through my teenage years. I really wanted a moped.
Yeah.
But I don't think my parents trusted me with a moped.
Oh no, listen,
my
man.
Granddad though, he had maybe a 1975 Honda CBR 450, right? At his office where he worked at, right?
Yeah.
And man, I have probably spent hours beyond hours on that motorcycle, been imagining me on it, right? And I'll tell you a crazy story about that. Because last year I was in Road Atlanta, they had one on display.
Okay,
that same exact motorcycle that I used to play with as a youngster. It was there at the race.
Got
And
you.
it
Got
was
you.
it was a nostalgic feeling because it brought back memories. My granddad's not with me anymore, but just remembering that, like, man, I remember I used to be on this all day, like hours. My mom didn't even care. Like, she
Right.
like,
Right.
I'm just doing something. Like, but ever since then, that just like been like I still want to purchase that bike, but it's
Right.
I probably had to do a lot of work and keep doing a lot of searching to look for it. But that's definitely something that like I want to get to.
Yeah,
And
I feel you there because like I there's some older bikes and some cars that I'm like I would like to rebuild, but you don't know what the parts is like. So, but like
absolutely.
when did you like first like jump on your first bike and learn how to ride? Like what age were you? And
Uh, Let me tell you this one quick story, right? So I'm a retired veteran, right? I've probably been retired out the Army. I did 26 years active duty, and I retired 2024, right?
yeah, yeah,
So let me tell you,
nice.
this story go collaborate with where I'm going. So I was stationed in Germany. I got stationed in Germany in 1999, right? Uh, and I went to a place called Kaiserslautern, Germany, and they had the green ZX7, right? And
Okay,
I
yeah,
wanted it so bad,
yeah,
right?
yeah,
And I went there. I went to Kaiserslautern, K Town. I went one weekend, got approved for it and everything, right?
yeah.
And I was so excited. I was so excited. I came back home. I came back home and called my mom. I mean, I came back to my barracks where I was stationed at in Germany. And I called my mom. I was like, Mom, I'm about to get a motorcycle, right?
Yeah.
And man, my mom flipped the world out of me. She said, if you get a motorcycle, you're not gonna be my son anymore, right? Man, I was 19. And
Okay.
and and it was probably good. It was probably good at that time because like I'm stationed in Germany and the
Yeah.
Autobahn, the Germans, they always in full leathers.
Man,
I remember this.
we're gonna talk about the Autobahn because that's on my bucket list of places. So it's interesting. I was like a BMX kid, and I was
Yeah.
probably I must have been like 13, and there were kids starting to ride dirt bikes or the Honda. I think it was a XL50 or something or
Yeah.
whatever, and I remember coming home and wanting one, and I'm from Jamaica originally, migrated here or immigrated here in '81, and I
Okay.
remember going home and telling my mother I wanted a bike, and yeah, there was none of that. There was no. It was like you're not getting that. You're gonna kill yourself,
Yeah.
and like you, I probably would have because I was a daredevil as a kid. So yeah, so it's crazy that our parents got some kind of like foresight, like yeah, you're gonna hurt yourself if you jump
Oh
on
yeah,
this
for
thing.
sure. For sure.
So
I definitely was out of control around that time, but I probably would be on this podcast if I probably personally did.
yeah. So, but
Yeah.
it's okay. So 19 years. So when did you finally get to jump on a bike? Because
Okay, so I ended up getting stationed in Hawaii from 2005 to 2010, and I purchased my first motorcycle in 2007.
okay,
When
that's
I was
what's up.
20, I hadn't turned 27 yet. I was 26. Is what I
Yeah.
purchased. Yeah, and I had
Yeah.
a 2008 ZX6R. Yep,
Okay.
in
Okay.
2007. Yep.
Nice. And which island in Hawaii were you stationed on, and how long were you there for?
I was stationed in Oahu, and I was there 5 years. 5 years, and I will tell you something, right? After every place I've ever been stationed at, that's probably the most place that I have put the most miles on my motorcycle, on a motorcycle.
Okay. Okay. What are you talking about for
Yeah.
numbers?
Huh?
What are you talking about for numbers
Man,
on the bike?
whew, maybe close to like 6,000 miles, man. I
Okay.
rode every day from that particular time when I got my motorcycle. Maybe because it's perfect weather. There's no bad weather there, right?
Yeah.
So
Right.
like
Right.
riding in Hawaii and the motorcycle culture is something serious in the 808, man. And I
Right.
linked up with a lot of guys there. And I had man, I had a blast, man. I will never forget the riding that I did in Hawaii, man.
Right.
Never
Yeah.
forget.
No, we have one of our guys that come on the show. Jordan, he was also stationed out there. A couple of people actually that's been on the show has been in Hawaii. and kind of jumped on a motorcycle for the first time. So it seems like it's a place that people can get introduced to motorcycling. But
For sure.
let's talk about Germany for a little bit on the autobahn, because like were you able to put your foot to the pedal to the metal on the autobahn while you were there?
Oh, for sure. Oh, for sure. I had I think a 94 Acura Integra, and it had 140 on the dash, and I probably did every bit of 140 every time. Every time. 5 speed, I'd never forget, man. And yeah, yeah, you 120 k's is like 80 miles per hour, right? And in
Right,
some
right.
places that we used to go where it's just like uh just a long extended period of road with no speed limit, man. It's all the way down to the floor till you can't go anymore.
Right, right. Yeah, I could talk about Germany for a while, but I'm gonna go see MotoGP in Germany at some point, and I'm probably
Right,
gonna like I remember looking at the my itinerary, like trying to figure it out because I was gonna do it last year, and I think I was gonna fly into like Frankfurt and just drive, which was like a 5-6 hour drive, and I was like, man,
right.
that might be fun.
Yeah,
You
it
know what I
will
mean?
be. It will be, man. Frankfurt's nice, man.
Yeah,
Frankfurt's nice. Yeah, yeah.
yeah, yeah. So okay, so you're in Hawaii. You got a bike and you're riding and you're putting in the miles and stuff like that. When did you start, or did you already start paying attention to like MotoGP or yeah, MotoGP back then, or a World Superbike or any of the racing in the U.S. Motor America AMA? Like when did you
Right.
start paying to that stuff, track days, or even start just like okay? Because for me, like I got into, like I said, I got into riding late, and I was
Yeah.
fortunate that one of the guys that I knew from the car, because I was, before Fast and the Furious, it was us.
Yeah.
It was us. So we always looked at that because we were Volkswagens and whatnot, but it was us. And like every other person probably says that dealt play with cars and stuff like that. But like when did you start like seeing like the racing side of things? Because for me, that was like
uh
later on, and seeing that as an opportunity to even just get to the track and
Maybe
have fun.
2000.
Okay.
2000. Yeah, yeah. 2000 was like really when I started paying attention to it, because that was, I think that was in MotoGP, that was Kenny Roberts Jr. run the
Yeah,
MotoGP
yeah, yeah,
championship.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah. And Rossi was on his way, man. You know
yeah,
what I mean?
yeah,
And
yeah.
I started picking up around that time, and it was the Brazilian guy. What was his name?
Alex
Alex Alex
Barrows.
Carrible.
No, Barrows, right?
Barrows. Yeah,
Barrows,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
yeah.
Barrows, yeah.
And I only knew that
And
from going back and watching. I didn't live it in real time.
yeah. So and I was just so fascinated with it, man. It's just like just the amount of skill and talent that it takes to like really ride a motorcycle at that high performance,
Right.
leaning, like taking the turns at that particular speed. And it was just intriguing to me at that time, like especially being a young man and into speed like that, and able to actually see it in fruition, like somebody on a machine that's taking it, riding a motorcycle to the limit, man. I just, basketball and sports, that is cool. That is cool. I like it. But man versus machine and pushing it to the limit, man, that's where my heart is truly at.
Yeah, no, I agree, man. I agree. I don't think I've ever said this, but I got into cars because of my dad, and
Yeah,
and he didn't race, but he knew how to drive.
right.
And in Jamaica, I always like everybody fixed their cars because you couldn't afford a mechanic. You just you're out there wrenching. So it was always cars. So for me, like as a 12-year-old, it was cars, 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 cars. So like, but once I finally got to drive, um, I knew that was like, yeah, this is my thing. This is me and this machine. We understand each other. We're talking. We're on the same page. I can't explain it. It's just a feel, right?
Right.
So
And
go
yeah,
ahead.
go ahead.
No, go ahead.
Yeah, it was just I know that feeling because like my dad was in the cars too because he had a Trans Am, man, that was with the amber lighting inside,
Yeah.
and it was like I think it was a 5 or 6 speed with the Phoenix on the hood, and man,
Okay.
I used to love that car, man. I used to love that car, and I tell you, my dad still rides. My dad still rides, and I remember when I was stationed in Germany, I came home and my dad had the first. He had, I think it was maybe 2000 or I think it was 2000 or 2001. I came home. He had the first gen Busa. He
Okay.
had it.
Wow.
Yeah, first gen. He had it, man. And it was a monster, man. It was a monster.
Nice. So okay, so now we're in the early 2000s, and you're following MotoGP and the restoration and stuff like that. Um, and you're riding and stuff like that. Now, when did you get to the track, and how did that happen?
Okay, like fast forward, that was like maybe 2000, 2011, 12.
Hmm.
No. I was in Afghanistan. Maybe 2013.
Yeah.
2013. That's when I really got into it. And it was a female that passed away that I was supposed to actually link up, man. She was an actual SJ Harris, right? I
Yeah.
don't know. Like she passed away on the set of what was the name of that movie? SJ Harris. She passed on this. What's the
Deadpool.
Deadpool. She passed away on Deadpool, right? And I was
I heard.
stationed in New York, right?
I
I
don't
was
know her
stationed in
name, but I heard about that.
Yeah, she passed away. She
The
had
stunt,
raced a little bit in
she was a
AMA also,
stunt
right?
woman. Yeah, she was a stunt woman, right?
Yeah, she was a stunt woman, right?
Yeah, yeah.
And we had started corresponding together on what is it? We had started corresponding on Facebook around that time. And she was trying to get me to New York to come there to try to link up with her. She was like, "Yeah, just come down here," because I was in upstate New York, like Fort Drum is like past Syracuse, right? And she
Okay.
kept on trying to get me to come down to the city to try to like to learn from her, right? And I was like so eager to learn from her. And unfortunately, you know what happened to her. And
Yeah.
ended up linking with some guys in New York and just got on the little state track and just learned a couple of things. And that was just like my first taste of it, right? And I just fell in love with it, man. It was just like this is me doing something that I wanted to do. And to be completely honest with you, at that particular time in my life, I was in a standstill in my military career. So I really, really, truly, truly, in my heart of hearts, really wanted to get out the military and try to pursue that because I was in my mind, I was thinking I can always come back in the military,
Right.
but at the same time, I had kids, so it's just
Right.
like how could I? And I was just like, man, I need to provide for my kids, man. That's a hobby. That's something that I'm passionate about, but that's not something that I need to put too much interest in. I need to just, and when I get the opportunity, pay the money to get on the track, do what I need to do. But my responsibility came for it. But I retired now, so I got time. You know what I mean?
Listen, man, and you're not alone in that. It's funny. I was just in Road Atlanta this past weekend, and I think I've said on the show once or twice that like I would like to race in Motor America, and one of the guys from Loudon, Sergio, he's been fortunate enough to be able to race in Motor America a couple of rounds. Although he had some bad luck, at least he
Yes.
had the opportunity to get there. So there's a lot of folks that feel we got the skill set. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? And life happens, right? And for one reason or another, and but you're tempted by like, yeah, you know what? I like to see how I stack up.
Right.
You know what I mean, and stuff like that. So I get where you're coming from, from that mindset, because I think there's in all categories of in all walks of life, there are people that life happens and we don't get that chance to be like, yeah, but I think I can compete at that level. So now you get past that, but you've been to the track and stuff like that. So like, when did you start racing?
Me personally, racing,
Yeah.
I have never like actually raced. I just did like a couple track days.
Oh man, we
Like,
gotta get you racing, man. We gotta get you racing.
yeah, yeah, I need to.
Got you. So, like, what is it like going to the track for you? Being on the streets for so long and stuff like that. Like, what's that like? Going to the track, and where do you see yourself now, as far as like, I guess what's holding you back from racing? But like,
Maybe because I want another motorcycle, right? I only have one motorcycle now, right? So
right.
I have a 2016 Ducati 1299. That's the only motorcycle I have, right?
Hmm.
And I've told myself this year I want to purchase a RSV4 so I can make my 1299 my track bike, right?
Right.
So once I get my second bike, because I like right now, my bike is currently right now in the Ducati shop in Austin, and I'm supposed to pick it up sometime this week and just get some stuff done. But once I get the second bike, I'm really looking forward to making the 1299 my official track bike.
Gotcha.
Uh, yeah,
Yeah. Um, you know, I will say this, and probably a lot of some listeners listening, you know, I'll I'll probably say keep your 1299 and buy a small bike. Get a R3 or Ninja
yeah,
400, and or I race a couple of small KTM RC 390s. You know what I mean? And I didn't start that way. When I started racing, I started on an SV 650. I went to an R6, did an R6 for about 5 years. It got bruised up and battered up, and realized I wanted to work on my body position and stuff like that and riding. So I went down to the RC 390s, and they've been great for me, because it's forcing me to do all the right things. But the other cool thing is that, man, on a small bike, you can get a set of tires, and them tires can last you for a little bit.
for sure,
You know what I'm
for
saying?
sure.
So it's like, should I change tires every weekend, or can
Yeah,
I add more races to a weekend on a smaller bike? You know what I'm
yeah.
saying? So like you can get, like I got into my SV for like $2,800, right? Back in
Oh wow.
2013. Right. And
Right.
it's already race ready. So, all safety wire, all the holes are drilled, because that sucks.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
If you're not done that, it sucks, right? So it's like it, you can always get the bigger bike. But I think that, like, getting into racing, if you get on a small bike, you don't have to worry about modulating your power. You can just be full power. You just got to worry about
Right.
your body position. Am I tuck? Am I coming off the bike? Am I hitting my braking markers, my entries, my exits? Am I doing all the right things? And once you master that for a year or two, and I would probably always say keep a small bike, because you can always just go to the mini tracks just to train on, and then get the bigger bike. And then you don't have
Right.
to. For me, like when I went from my SV 650 to the R6, I was in last place for like a year and a half, 2 years, just trying to
Wow.
learn how to just ride that bike. You know what I
Right.
mean? And I had to buy a street bike just to get more street time, because I got a track in my backyard, so
Yeah.
like where can I practice, right? So
Yeah.
I bought a second R6, so I can just
Yeah.
get used to riding an R6 and changing gears and get comfortable in all of the stuff. Where, like, if I was on a smaller bike, I wouldn't have to worry about the power. You know what I mean? I just got to worry about just learning how to ride.
Right.
And that's the cool thing about, like, you see these young kids, they're all on small bikes. So they all get to learn how to ride, and then they move up to the big bikes, and they don't have to worry about learning how to ride. They just got to worry about the power and when they're going to turn on and off the gas. You know what I'm saying? So which, like I said, if you've only been on a track a couple of times, get a Ninja 400 that somebody's selling, ride it for a couple of years, learn how to ride, chuck it down the road a couple of times, and then, like, all right, now I'm gonna put my 1299 out on the track, and at that point you'll, like, I don't know how much riding you like street riding, but street riding is different than track riding. Track riding is being able to do the same thing over and over and over and over and
Yeah.
over and over and over, because it's the same thing. It doesn't
Right.
change.
Now I will say this. Even though I'm not, I haven't brought it out here, so to say, like since I've been like like since I retired in Texas, like, but listen, like I will drag my knee. I got full leathers. I will get
Yeah,
busy
yeah,
on the
yeah.
street. I've done
Oh,
it
yeah.
before.
Yeah.
I've done
Yeah,
it before. And
yeah, no,
I
no doubt.
you said what else?
No, I said no doubt. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah. But I know it's not safe. I know it's not safe,
yeah,
but it's fun to do every now and then. And I really want to get back into just like teaching people how to ride too, like because
right,
there's a lot of youngsters out here that don't know how to ride. They just
right,
know how to swing the throttle.
right.
No body positioning. No, they don't understand body position. They don't understand what to do with their legs. Like even taking it even deeper to learning how to work out properly
Right.
to
Yeah.
ride your motorcycle.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I wasn't saying it. I didn't say all that to say based on your skill set. It's more like on the cost side, just to
Oh,
like get out
absolutely.
there and
Oh no,
ride.
no, no, no,
Yeah,
no,
yeah, yeah.
no,
I'm
no
not.
pun intended.
Yeah. I was definitely not questioning your skill set. It was more
Yeah.
like just get the cheapest bike and go ride.
Yeah.
And, that's all I was
I
trying to
know I
say.
need to. I definitely need to. It's just I think like just to be completely transparent, I think my ego gets in the way because in my past I've talked a lot of trash about people that ride 400s and 300s,
Yeah.
and I think it's just like something I need to just retract back from having that mentality to get one to really, you know, spend the money to actually get on the track and actually ride for real. But and
No.
I think that's what the issue is. It's my ego. It has nothing to do with anything else with that because I've been running my mouth talking trash about, oh man, you got a 500 or you got a 400. But in all actuality, that's really what I need.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
get what
No.
I'm saying? Like,
Listen, man.
especially cost effective.
Yeah, I like in hindsight, I wish I would have kept the 650 for a lot longer and just learn how to be quicker. Because I spent a lot of years. And I also got injured, but I still spent a lot of years just kind of like, you know, learning how to ride, but also trying to control the power. And
Right.
and that's just a 600. Not even 1,000, right?
Yeah.
And a 600 one when you wind a 600 up, that's like the Tasmanian devil.
Yeah, it is. It is. And like I went from that 2008 uh ZX6R to an R1. And the reason why it was just time for me to upgrade
Yeah.
because I was just being totally ultra ignorant, doing stupid stuff on that 600. And I needed to be humbled. I
Yeah.
needed to be humbled again. And I ended up getting a 2012 R1 right after that. I think it was like, yeah, I ended up getting that. And that
Oh, yeah.
humbled me.
Oh yeah, no,
It
like
humbled
same here. Same here. I mean, like my first bike was an 848. My second bike was my 1198. You know what I'm saying? It was like I didn't buy 300s until 2021, and I've been riding for
Oh,
almost
okay.
years. Same thing. Same thing.
Yeah,
Completely
yeah,
the
yeah.
same thing. You know what I'm saying? So that's what I'm saying. Like, I had to I crashed in 2018. I lacerated my spleen, I had to get cut open and get surgery, got screw in my hand and all that stuff.
Oh wow.
And I went back racing the next year because I just was stubborn. And so while my hand wasn't healed, I was still racing, but then I was compensating. So by
Oh,
September of the following year, I was like, okay, I don't feel any pain, but now my body position is all off. You know
oh
what I'm
wow.
saying? And so I had to it was like I can continue on the 600 and try to fix my body position or go to a smaller bike. And so it took me almost like I said, I started riding in 2012, racing 2013, 2021. I bought my first small bike.
Right.
Oh, yeah, no doubt. Ego for sure. And in hindsight, looking back, it was like, yeah, I should have kept the SV for like a few more years and
Yeah.
just really learn how to continue to ride and stuff like that. But I'll say this: going to the small bikes, and doing that for a few years. Now I'm like, okay, I feel good because now I'm doing all the right things. Now I can brake later. You know what I'm saying? Now I'm getting on the gas sooner. I can carry more corner speed. And stuff like that. So, and for some people, they can jump on the big bikes and figure all that out, right? I can't
Yeah.
speak for anyone. I can only speak for myself, but going back down to a small bike, that really kept me tough because trust me, you hold your head up just a little bit, you're going slower.
I will say this, like what was this? I got stationed in Korea from 2017 to 2019, right? I
Oh man,
did
you've been
a
to all the best places so far. You
I have.
Germany,
I
Hawaii,
have.
Korea. Man.
The first year I got to Korea, they had a track day at this track in Korea, right? You can rent the leathers, 600, and man, I remember this like it was yesterday, right? I came out there, rode, did everything I needed to do, and the guy, had to translate it, like, because it was through like the MWR thing, like for like you have to have a license, military welfare and recreation, right?
Yeah, I
And
not to cut. I do mean to cut you off. People say not to cut you off and cut people off,
no,
but
go ahead.
I had somebody else on the show, Jordan, and that's the thing apparently with the military, like covering like safety for going to the track and track day stuff. That
Oh,
that,
absolutely.
that I don't think that's been told. That like it's not known more because I'm pretty sure a lot of kids hearing like, listen, if you go to the military, you can learn, you can get
Yeah.
track days.
So it is a weird thing that happened, right? So like, you got young men and young women,
Yeah,
they go for a year and they come back and have probably the most money they ever seen ever in their life in their account. And all of a sudden they got money to burn and they buy these expensive motorcycles, right?
yeah,
And they never really had proper training to ride. And a lot of fatalities and injured soldiers that ended their careers riding motorcycles. So the
right.
military caught up, the MSF course, and they caught up to try to help soldiers to ride better. So like, hey, look, we can't stop you from purchasing this, but we can help aid and assist you to learn how to do what you want to do better. And I'm just fortunate to be in some great places and to know enough people to network to let me know about certain things that was going on while I was in the military, and I took
Yeah.
full advantage of it. Full advantage of it.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, that's. I mean, I almost went to the military. I had a kid young, and I didn't go, but like, uh, but that's cool. Like, it's just like because for again, I'm not saying that's the reason to go, but like, it's good to know if you're into bikes.
Oh yeah, for sure. They recently just had one of the guys on the big post down here, not too far, maybe 20 miles from me where I retired at. It's Fort Hood. They
Yeah.
had they had the guy to bring the big simulator out there, man. The big
Okay.
like MotoGP simulator, and it was like
Yeah.
a big ordeal.
Okay. That's what's up.
Yeah.
That's what's up. Yeah, man. Where else have you gotten to ride motorcycles? Besides Hawaii, Korea, U.S.
Well, New York, Tail of the Dragon.
Yeah. Okay. All right. All right.
Tail of the Dragon.
I haven't done that yet. I've been invited, and I know some friends that have gone, and scheduling wise, it hasn't worked out for me. But I know that's a place I want to hit.
Oh yeah, for sure, man. I've done it, and my dad has done it. My
Okay.
dad did it before me, and I was stationed there.
No
He did.
kidding. No kidding.
Yeah,
Nice. Nice.
and yeah.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. Go ahead.
all of Texas, North Carolina, South Carolina, Virginia, Texas, and maybe that's it. Nothing
Okay.
like I did some stuff overseas, but that wasn't like actually my motorcycle, but scooters and stuff. But that it was fun. I rode scooters in Thailand. That was fun though.
Oh yeah.
Scary but fun.
Got you. Got you. I went to Italy to go to MotoGP and drive
How was
around.
that,
I
man?
You should go. I saw it,
Yeah.
but like I did about 20. I did over 2,400 miles in a Fiat Standard,
Oh
and,
wow.
and I started from Venice and went all the way down to the Mai-Fi coast, stopping off at
Yeah.
different places, and then went to Florence, and then drove back and forth from Florence to the racetrack. And let me tell you, the people that go to the racetrack,
Yeah.
they be on it.
Oh yeah. So let
It's
me
like
ask you a quick question. So did you go to Coda this year?
I did not go this year.
Okay. Have you been to Coda?
Yeah. I went last year and I went in 2019.
Okay. I was there last year too. So like how is the crowd, the fans, the American crowd versus the European fans?
Oh,
How
okay.
is it?
Well, I'll say this. So I've been fortunate enough to go to Assen. So Assen was my first track. I did that in
Wow.
2017 when Rossi won. I mean, it was chilly. It was cold. But to see him on the podium after a long time, I think that was his last win. It's a different crowd when I went there. It was chill, and I did VIP there, and it was stuffy, and I mean chill. It was stuffy. It was just like I don't know if you go to any like I don't know any training session or any assembly, and there's people from everywhere, and it's just kind of like tight. And I was just like, okay. And then I go to Mogello, and Mogello was, like if you know what Dream Weekend is or anything like that in Jamaica, Mogello's like it's like that, party.
Oh wow, it was wild, huh? Good time, huh?
So I had a hotel in Florence, and I was going back and forth to that, and I wish I had a camper and just stayed at the track. That's how much I was just like, what I leaving. I'm just like, oh, this looks like it's going to be fun. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I didn't realize you could camp out at the track at a like a MotoGP weekend. So I think if I get to go back to Mugello or some of these tracks, I'll probably camp out at the track and like you hear the stories of France, I don't know what the track is called, but the French GP, the partying that's going on at 3 a.m. when you hear these riders complaining that they hear the singing and everything that's going on.
Yeah.
Like, you want to be part of that.
Right. Because what was
saying?
that last year when Zarco won?
Yeah,
and I heard
yeah,
it was
exactly.
crazy.
Yeah, when he was, yeah, exactly. So when he was saying all that, right? So, so for me, so far, like Mugello is that track. Like I think it's an experience that you should experience. The fact that when they run down, like I was on the start finish line, and like when they ran down after every Rossi was on it was, I think it was Rossi, Dovizioso, and Lorenzo or somebody was on the track or something like that won that round or something like that. But when they all leave the hill and come down to the start finish, that's
Right.
crazy to see. And the atmosphere, like that energy, I mean, it's like college football like level when they got like 80,000 people in the stadium or something like that.
Right.
That's what it like. You can feel the energy. And I don't think we are there yet at Assen. I'm not Assen, at Austin.
Right.
I don't think we're there yet. But I also heard like some of the tracks in Spain are also unbelievable to go to. I heard Valencia is unbelievable to go to at the end of the year as well. But the records that they have in the tracks now, 100,000 people. I think when I went, it was over 100,000 people when I went. But when you're having over 100,000 people at an event, it's going to be insane.
Yeah, it is.
And this is one of the things we talk about on the show is in as far as the U.S. We got to build that out. You know what I'm saying? We like that needs to have that. We need to get to college level in attendance, because I know that I don't know what it was this past year. I think last year was under 60,000 or something like that, and we need like 40,000 more people to show up.
Oh, absolutely.
And show out. You know what I'm saying? Because the U.S. is one of the premier countries for MotoGP. You know what I'm saying? In the 80s and 90s, we were sunning everybody.
Right. But the thing I think that would really help MotoGP is the grassroots, like support Moto America. Like a lot of fans don't support Moto America.
Yep.
And I think like if they supported Moto America, more fans would be likely to come out to a COTA race.
Yep.
Like I'm looking forward to. I think I'm gonna be able to make the race in Birmingham next month.
Okay,
I think the one in Barbers.
Yeah. Okay.
And I'm looking forward to when they come here to Texas. I think those are 2 races I'm gonna make.
Okay. I'm hoping to be there for both. So yeah, definitely. If you make it, man, definitely let's connect. And I think that's the goal of this show. I know that's the goal of Penguin and Woodcraft, and there are a lot of track days people, track day organization. There are a lot of folks that are invested in building back up racing in the U.S. because it's a huge decline from a sport. As far as
Absolutely.
when you look at the global sport, and especially where where these riders were before us now, and we see it with the young riders and stuff like that. So I think it's going to get there. I don't know how quickly it will get there, but I do feel like there's people who are thinking about that and trying to do it. So I mean, I think that I think it's getting better than it was, and hopefully we'll be we'll be one of the main stops, right, like it used to be. What I'm saying? Like when you think of these riders in the US that's changed that change motorcycle racing globally, and then now we're seeing it, what safe to say what Spain, Italy's doing, but the US used to do that.
Right. Absolutely. Yeah. They had the what was the Four Kings, but it just ran it all. Like,
Okay.
Sheen,
you know
freaking
Roberts,
man.
Roberts, I Swans, these guys, obviously, the late great Nikki Hayden, later, we saw, what, Edward,
Elbows,
and we saw,
speeds.
we saw what these guys were able to do and stuff like that. So, I mean, it, again, I think that it's changing. I don't know what the mindset was to not have kids on bikes, but I think it was more parents sitting here saying, "You're not going racing."
Oh, right. That's exactly what it
That
is.
killed it than anything else.
It's not cost
Yeah,
effective.
it
I
wasn't
think I
anything.
think I think we got to get behind some. I think the only person, like we were hoping Joe Roberts was going to be able to do something, but I think
Mhm.
the only person that's you know in line to do something is the young kid. What KDJR? He's the
Yeah,
next.
I think so. I think he's a guy, but I think there's a lot of kids in the U.S. too now,
Right.
and I think he's in the AAU, right, of motorcycle racing. So he's in the best place
Correct.
to take advantage. I think any kid in the US that's racing a motorcycle that's on asphalt want to be in Spain or Italy right now,
Oh,
right?
absolutely.
They want to
Absolutely.
be,
Right.
but the cost and these things is what's limiting families and stuff like that, and that's the biggest thing. Looking at the race at Road Atlanta and seeing Darren Bender, and I'm not sitting here saying Darren Bender is the benchmark for the highest level, but the guy's been in Moto 2, Moto 3, and Moto GP, right?
Right.
So if if we're gonna compare anybody
That's just
to
like SDK.
yeah,
SDK was right there.
yeah, what I'm saying, and we see the talent that's able to run with him,
Right.
right? So we know the talent's here. Like after this
Right.
weekend, like and again, he's Darren Bender's not Mark Marquez, but you don't have to be Mark Marquez to make it to MotoGP.
Absolutely.
Right.
Yeah.
So what I mean. So I looking at that and walking away from that, and this is just middleweight, right?
Hmm.
It's like the talent is definitely here already. It's the financing. It's the financing, right? Because
Right.
at the end of the day, it's like if you can get a rider in there and give them, and everybody evolve at different times. But if you get a rider in there and give them enough time where they don't have to worry about, is my lights getting turned off this weekend? know
Yeah.
we gonna see something different. It's
Yeah.
hard,
Yeah. Absolutely. Absolutely.
So I do see like we're getting better, and I'm wishing like I don't know him. I've chatted to the dad a couple of times on social media and stuff like that. I do hope he does. I wish this for every kid. I hope that you get to live out your dreams, right? I mean, that's what
Oh
we all
man,
want, right?
absolutely.
I mean, that's what we all do what we do for and stuff like that. But the reality is the kids that jump on a sport the soonest gets
Right.
the most chance of getting there.
Yeah.
Um, because they just got more hours, like as Kobe said, right? It's just you
Right.
can't catch up to me if you're not putting in the same hours. And so we see that. So I am excited for where things are, but I do hope in the future that they're more American and MotoGP do have funding and stuff like that to try to get more Americans in. I mean, it may not be enough to convince somebody to take that chance, but at
Right.
least they recognize that they got to do something out there. So I think if corporations on this side um, can see the value in having the U.S. on the world stage again in motorcycle racing and Formula One. That's what's going to take. It's going to take
Oh, it
huge money
is.
to get into that to get to that level. So hopefully we'll see. But I know the people are doing everything they can. We see kids now doing more racing than ever. So therefore that fear is not the same as it was, I think, 15, 20 years ago. So we see the kids are trying, and now we just got to get the financing figured out so they get the opportunity to really shine.
Yeah, I believe that too. I think if it could match the cost of enough sponsors to somebody to like spot their talent to help aid in the system, then we could have someone to represent on the world stage. Because you think about it, like Cameron Boubier and Mark Marquez were teammates.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. No, and I give him a little crap on the show. He doesn't know it. But I give him a little crap on the show because I wish he would have stayed
yeah. I
because
wish he would have too.
we need it. And it's not fair for me because I'm just sitting at home. So I could
Yeah, him and Josh. Josh had the opportunity. Josh Aaron had the opportunity too.
you know what I'm saying? So it takes I'm not fault. I get why you want to come home. I get it. And it's like, listen, like I said already, and I've said on the show, I sat in the back of the grid for a long time. And so I noticed like it doesn't feel
Yeah,
good. You know what I'm saying? So
right,
it's much easier to get just to walk up on those 3 steps than it is to pack up and wonder what happened.
right.
So, but but it's where it is, and everyone has to make their sacrifice. And I know he's made his sacrifice because he was there already. Same thing with Joe Roberts. I know you mentioned him earlier, and I think for Joe Roberts, I think that if I'm understanding it correctly, I think he had the opportunity to go when Aprilia was kind of bad. Maybe bad, mostly bad, and there was some Moto2 riders that were like, we ain't going. And I think they're being held by that decision to not go, even though they have the skill set to go. And I think Joe Roberts is one of those riders that they're just sitting here, they're just icing them out because he didn't take the opportunity.
Mm,
And look, I know, I know we got to stand on business because there's a lot of good that goes with standing on business.
right.
But sometimes we got to make exceptions to the
You
rules.
got to, man.
And
You
I
got
think,
to.
and I think in Joe Roberts' case, that's that's an exception to a rule because, you know, mentally, if you're on a bad machine, not everybody could be on a bad team and still get up every day and give 100%. I don't
Oh,
care
that's
what
true.
you do in life. It don't matter
Right.
whatever it is that you're doing. If you know your team is bad, you gonna wake up and give 100, or you gonna wake up and give 60 or whatever,
Yeah.
right?
It just depends on how you feel.
Yeah. So you know what I'm saying, like and I don't think that's something that should be held against them. But I know the racing community is that community that listen, when you're no matter what you do, if you're with us, no matter how bad you are, you're always with us, right? And
Correct.
so they do that. And so, but if you go against us, you also know we're not with you after that, right?
Yeah.
So
And I think Joe Roberts and Aaron Canet probably go retire in Moto too.
yeah, no, I think that I think Connect will be. I hope Connect will be in World Superbike next year,
Mm,
and I think he probably had the opportunities too. But I think he probably said I'll give it one more. And so I hope he gets to World Superbike. And I hope the same thing for Joe Roberts because after watching this past weekend and seeing all these Moto 2 and Moto GP riders in it, it's different than when Tito Rebay was coming over and stuff like that. There's
Oh,
some
oh, for sure.
there's some killers coming out.
Right.
So I
It
think for Joe
is.
Roberts, you can still. He's in the books anyway, but like I think he could still got a chance to go win world titles on the superbike stage. And
Right.
same thing with Canet. And stuff like that, because Canet's pretty much the same weight as Batista. So,
Yeah,
like
it
I like person on a bike is always going to be faster.
is.
That's one thing for sure. Maybe not downhill, but definitely everywhere else. So yeah, so we'll see what happens with that, man. So yeah, man. So with that said, you've done some track days, and you're looking to come out and race and be competitive. And it sounds like you're doing a little bit with a little bit of coaching as well.
Right.
So and not only that, but you're also on the social media piece as well. So talk a little bit about that. The other things that you're doing in the community and stuff like that.
Yeah. So one thing I think like I've been riding for a while and like following MotoGP, and I think it was like closer. I was like going through the retirement process, and I think I posted something about me doing something on my motorcycle on my Instagram page, and I just got the wild idea of just started to do something on YouTube, and I
Yeah.
posted. My first post was like I think like the Coda race, maybe like 2 years ago when I was getting ready to retire.
Yep.
And man, I got like maybe like 45,000 views. And I was like, whoa, maybe I'm on to something. And I follow the sport, and I feel like just me of who I am. And every day that I wake up, I feel, even though I know other people know the sport, but I feel like nobody knows the sport like me.
Right.
That's how I feel.
Right.
I feel like
Yeah.
I had nobody as far as like history of the sport, and just watching the riders, and like especially MotoGP, because I've just been following it for so long, and I've truly indulged myself into the sport of like actually loving the sport outside of anything else that has to do with any other sport. And I just really zoned in and start to like work work on something different, because me being in the military, I've never really had the opportunity to pursue my passion. It
Right.
was always, hey, get up in the morning, 6:30 to whatever time o'clock I get home. And motorcycle racing has always been a part of me. So I
Right.
just took upon myself to like really, indulge myself into learning how to do edits and music, and, add in certain stuff and add in a little commentary to it. And I attempted to do what you all did too, would be forever cool, but it just didn't work out for me. Like I couldn't find a co-pilot that knew the sport like me, and me trying to carry it by myself, I just couldn't do it.
Right.
And so I just look forward to just like, doing like cool videos and like catching some of my friends that do cool stuff on motorcycles. But the thing is that I love to do is like edit videos for MotoGP. I really love doing that. I really like capturing the sound of whatever's been going on leading up to the race. And and I like to do funny stuff too, because I feel like I have a good sense of humor also. So I
Okay.
like to, like, if I see somebody do something funny, I want
Yeah.
to try to edit it and add some kind of like motorcycle funny to it.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah. And but I just really like, just giving a different face to certain stuff that haven't been seen to the sport.
Yeah.
Like, not to, deep dive into that, but a lot of people of color really don't go into the sport. You know what I
Right.
mean? They have other
Oh.
things that intrigues them far as, and I just found something that I like to do, that I'm passionate about it, regardless of what it's gonna do, long as I can tell, my kids, hey, look, regardless of what you have and going on in your life, if it's something that you want to do in your life, you gotta at least try it at least once.
Right.
You got it.
Right.
If you fail, to me, you never really fail. You just learn
Right.
a lesson,
Right.
and I feel like if you can't, like the more mature and older people say, like, it's a lot of ideas in the grave.
Right.
And I don't want to be one of those people. I want to
Yeah.
be able to tell my kids at any time. I never want to tell them, hey, don't do that. I don't know how it's gonna come out. Nah, I want to. You tell me how can I support you,
Right.
and I want to be the example. Well, hey, dad went on a limb and tried something that nobody has done before, and he
Right.
he did okay. So like, I just want to be try to be the example of, hey, if it's something that you want to do, try it.
Yeah. No, I agree. I mean, that I agree. I agree with everything you just said because it's like I said, you know, like I saw racing on TV because I remember watching it on ABC or World of Sports or whatever. I remember seeing that in the 80s, right? So I knew like racing was a thing for motorcycles. And it's
Right.
crazy because as a kid, like I wanted to race cars. So I knew racing was possible. But for whatever, I never made that correlation between that and racing motorcycles. So when like my friend told me about it, it was one of those things like, oh, you can do that? And
Yeah.
I realized, and then when I talk to more people in our community, it's like, yeah, they don't know you can do that. You know what I'm saying? And that's huge. And and that's one of the reasons why this show got started. Because this like in Boston, I was doing a different show on the radio. You know, cannabis and poetry and undiscovered music, but I was racing, so I wanted to talk about motorcycle racing. So I had this 5-minute segment where I'll talk about called Motorcycle Corner, where I'll try to get like 5 minutes of motorcycle stuff in, right?
Right.
And that kind of thing, just to spread the word. Because it's true. Is there's a lot of people that don't know. Like you could even Motor America, like you can go watch a race, right?
Right.
There's too many people that don't know you can just go do that and go hang out, camp out for the weekend, and have a good time and stuff like that. And how comfortable or cool the motorcycle community is, as far as like it's like it's a brotherhood, a sisterhood, right?
It is.
You know what I mean. And I didn't learn about it till my 40s, right? So it's kind
Right.
of like and I'm talking to other people and they didn't know about it. So it's definitely like the word needs to get out, and I know it is by you doing what you're doing, by what we're doing and stuff like that, because we recognize it's important. And I'm Jamaican first because I was born there, but I'm American. But I want to see a Jamaican in MotoGP one day.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
you
For
know what
sure.
I'm saying?
For sure.
You know what I mean? Like that's what I'm saying. Like that's what I want to see. But it doesn't matter. Because there are a lot of skillful people, regardless of their color, that don't get the opportunities to go do the things they love. And when you love something like car race and motorcycle race and some of these other sports that's very expensive, it makes it very hard. When you see these kids in the communities, in the inner cities and stuff like that, riding their dirt bikes up and down and not knowing they can get a trailer or can't afford a trailer and truck or the time or anyone to take them anywhere. Like you literally can go somewhere and just have fun and not have to worry about whether you're gonna hurt somebody or somebody gonna hurt you. Because at the end of these kids just want to have fun. They just want to ride. They
Yeah,
just
that's
can't.
it.
They just
That's
can't
it.
get to the dirt or they can't get to a track. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? And like I hope one day that like cities will build instead of not instead but just build a place for dirt bikes to go to, or
Absolutely.
you know what I'm saying? Because if you did that, these kids will show up. They'll
Oh,
be
they
off
will.
the street once that open. They'll be off the streets. This is
Right.
simple as that, because it's one less than they got
Yeah,
to worry
Texas,
about.
we have a lot. We have a
Huh?
lot of them. And I think it's like right outside of maybe 15 minutes down the road from me. It's a dirt track right down the road from me.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You know
like
what I'm
going
saying?
towards Austin.
Right. But when I'm in Boston, man, that dirt track is like 2.5, 3 hours.
Yeah, I can imagine.
You know what I'm saying? And like I was fortunate in Boston because we had Loudon, but my next racetrack was Jersey, which was 6.5 hours.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying? New York safety, you could do track days, but they're not racing.
No, they're not.
And even New York safety was still probably like 5 hours for me. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? And so and that's the thing. So as an adult, that's when I could do it. I couldn't do it as a 17, 18, 19-year
No,
old.
no, no. You got to
You know
cut
what
the
I'm saying?
grass. You got to do something else. Hey, get off that.
You know what I mean? And I think that like so these kids, I mean, I recognize that it's a problem, but I think that hopefully like adults will solve it in the future, and a lot of cities where don't have power line areas that they can go right up and down, or enough acreage that they can ride up and down and not harass anybody. They'll create these parks and these places where kids can go ride. You can have a ambulance parked up, a couple of ambulances parked up outside, just like the track. There's enough grants and stuff out there to cover that stuff. So
Absolutely.
I think there's enough funding that it's just having the right people look at it and see the opportunity to really help these kids. And trust me, it will look a lot different if the motorcycle community will look a lot different if folks that can't afford to go riding got the opportunity to go riding.
Oh, for sure.
You
For
know,
sure. And I think I think one thing I love about the motorcycle community that, like especially the people that I hang around, always want to give back to the
yeah,
people that like
sure.
always want to give back. Hey, like, hey, you want to go riding, you want to learn. Like I saw you do something, you didn't take that turn good enough. Hey, you want to go
Yep.
ride? Let's go work on that. And that's one thing I love about the motorcycle community because like, man, I could just and I don't want to, go too personal, but man, the motorcycle community really, 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 really helped me out last year, man. Helped me out, man. Like man, I'm getting a little emotional, man. Really helped me out last year. I lost my
Yeah,
mom at the end of 2024,
sorry to hear, man.
around Thanksgiving, right? Man, the motorcycle community looked out for me, man. They, you know what I mean? Like, because I stay in Texas. I'm the only one in my family here in Texas. And man, they really just like gathered around me.
Yeah,
Like, because a lot of times I used to have a helmet full of tears, man. That's all I
yeah,
mean, because like when you're dealing with certain stuff like that, it's only a few people that you trust to talk
right.
about like
Yep.
what's really going on with you emotionally, especially as a man.
Oh
And
yeah.
there's a lot of times Highway 35 is like go from Dallas to Austin. I probably it's no I know I burned up a lot of gas just driving up and down 35. But when I finally opened up to talk to, somebody about, outside of like, a therapist or something,
Right, right, right.
sometimes therapists can be kind of robotic. They're going down a checklist or whatever, right?
Yeah,
It's not
for
no
sure.
real
It,
emotional
it,
attachment to
I,
what
I
you bring to the table.
Yeah, I think them and judges and the court system, they need like sabbaticals
Yeah,
so,
absolutely.
so they can recharge.
Yeah. But the motorcycle community was there for me though,
Yeah, yeah,
man.
yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they were there for me, man. They you know, they were there for me. They were able to like, get me back on track. Like, you know what I mean? Not saying I was had any mentally thing going on, but it
Right,
was just,
right. But they're checking
just
in.
as a person,
They're
you lose
checking.
somebody important like that in your life, and
Yeah.
you looking for comfort, you looking for
Yeah.
empathy, you looking for a certain level of love and affection towards you to help heal that inner part of you. And the motorcycle community was there for me, man. They were
Yeah.
there for me, man. Like and that, still, I call anybody in my crew right now. Hey man, I'm dealing with something. They'll pull up to the house, man. Hey, but
Yeah. No,
I haven't
I've
done
said,
that, but I know they would. But you
yeah,
know what I mean? So like I
I've said
just
this. Yeah, I've said this many times on the show. Like, if the whole world was like the motorcycle community, it'd be a beautiful place. Because
oh, it is.
I get so much love, and I can go stop anywhere on a bike, and somebody be like, "Yo, you good?"
Yeah.
I do the same thing in my car. Ain't
Oh,
nobody
for sure. I do
stopping.
the same thing
Ain't
too.
nobody stopping. Ain't nobody stopping. So and I didn't realize like that level of what it was when you don't know about it, and you haven't seen it, firsthand. You don't know. You know what I'm saying? But like once you're in it, it's just like, and in racing community, guys will give you parts just to go race next to you. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
Tires or whatever. You need
Yeah, yeah,
tires.
yeah. It's amazing. It's not perfect. I'm not sitting here trying to say it is, but for the most part, the effort that people go through, and I can equate this to just going, and you can correct me if I'm wrong. It's like going into battle, right?
Right.
Because for me, the reason why I say that, like when I first got to the track, you know, you know, there was a certain air in the paddocks, right? And it took a while for me to kind of like wrap my head around what was going on, and I knew it was different because there was a different movement, and what I
Right.
realized is like they're present, they're in the moment, everybody's in the moment at once. It's a
Focus.
different, it's a different
Focus.
a whole different thing when all of us are
Right.
like in the moment, right? You can just feel that, and I think of gladiator movies and stuff like that. But you've been in you did service, and I'm sure you saw some things. But I assume you can tell me right or wrong. It's like it's that moment you feel before you go into battle. You just move differently.
Yeah, you do. More precision, man. You see stuff
Yeah,
different, man. It's like laser focus.
yeah,
Laser focus. And it's that you're absolutely right. It's that feeling that you have, man. It's just and everybody's on one accord. Like you
yep,
can feel that. Everybody's on one accord. Everybody want to win. Like you know what I mean?
yeah,
Everybody want to win, and nobody wants to see anybody get hurt.
right,
You know what I mean? Like
yep,
everybody want to see you come back to the paddock. I might
yeah,
beat you, but I don't want to see you hurt. You know what I
right.
mean?
Yeah, for sure, for sure. So it is a beautiful community, and I think that's why you and myself and others. I think we recognize that, and West Coast guys are doing it. Like that we like it is a beautiful community. And like any other community, things happen, but it is a beautiful one, and I think we're all trying to do our part in that. None of us are, I'm not sitting here saying I'm going to retire off my podcast or anything like that. You know what I mean?
Hey man, hey, you one hit away.
You
That's how I
know,
think, man.
yeah, for sure, for sure. But
Yeah,
it's like I drove to Atlanta, and it's weird for me because like I like to be on a track. You know what I mean? Like for me, it's weird to go to a track and I'm not racing, or riding on it. You know what I mean? Just like being a spectator is weird, because I want to be on the track first. Like it's not. I don't.
yeah,
What I'm saying? It's like if I can hang out with Rossi, Lorenzo, Marquez, and we're eating a dinner, I'm like, if we can go to the track together, I'm like, sign me up.
yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Come on, Rossi, let me come to the ranch.
Exactly. It's like I want to be. Oh, I'm a doer. You know what I'm saying? Like so, but like I said, I'm a late bloomer to this community, but I like it a lot, and we're putting in our time into building it, and I'm trying to do my part in this thing because I really do think that more people need to know about it because it does it makes you feel better.
Yeah, it does. It does. It does.
You know what
It's
I'm
a rush,
saying?
man. And it's addictive too. It's
Yeah.
addictive.
Oh
It's
man,
addictive.
listen. No,
I mean,
I
it's
know.
go
Go
ahead.
ahead.
I'm sorry
No, go
about
ahead.
that.
I talk all the time, man. Go ahead.
Yeah. Yeah, it's addictive. I wish, like, after I left, even being at Coda, I was like, man, I wish I could be out there. Like, you
Yeah.
know what I mean? Like, I wish I could be out there with Maverick. I was like, man, Maverick, let me jump on.
All right. Right. I got you.
Man, I don't know. I was a little hung up after Coda, like, cause like we were there like the whole from Thursday to Sunday, and man, it was man, I was just hung up. I was just like, man, I still talk to a couple of guys that's in different cities, and they're like, man, I miss MotoGP, man. It was a good time. We had a blast, right?
Yeah.
Every day, just hanging out at the track, spending money, buying merch, but it was fun.
Oh yeah.
And
Listen.
it is crazy, like how like like you say, the motorcycle community, like it was just man, I seen old people, like I
Yeah.
mean, like had to be in like 80s. They out there with their Priya shirt,
Yeah.
all the Priya stuff on out
Yeah.
there, man. I'm like, man, this
Yeah.
is this the whole world is here. The
Oh, for
whole world.
sure. Yeah,
Yeah.
no, for sure. It's funny, when you said about Vinales, I got a good friend that he's always saying, "Look, man, listen, we'll just kidnap Marquez. You jump in his letter, keep your helmet down. Nobody knows you." Oh, sorry. I'm like, they'll know.
Yeah, there we go. What's wrong with Top Gun?
Exactly.
There's something wrong with Top Gun ride height device.
Like, I don't know what the hell I'm doing.
He hit a false neutral.
Yeah, man. But no, I hear you about that. Like,
Yeah,
we all want to get out there and have fun, no matter how old you are. And just even like the experience. So even last year, you talk about the different folks that go watch it. I remember taking the ride from the Uber drop off to the track last year. And I was, I really, believe it or not, I usually don't talk to people. But for whatever reason, I started talking to this guy, an older guy, gentleman, and he, I just happened to ask, like, why, how come, what brought you here? And he was just like, I don't like motorcycles at all, but my son invited me, and so I
yeah,
decided to go because my son invited me, and I'm just
yeah,
kind of like, yeah, right, because like there are people here or at events, what I'm saying, and they're there because there's someone they love that asked them to come or suggested going or something like that. So it is all walks of life
right.
that do come and experience, MotoGP or Motor America and stuff like that. And it's pretty cool to see as a fan. It's pretty cool to see covering it as well and hear stories like that and hear stories from different people because it's different for everyone. You know what I'm saying? Why they show up to an event.
Yeah, and it's just cool to do. Like next year, like so you've been to Coda, so next year they're trying to make that area an actual amusement park to like bring
Right.
more people.
Yep.
So like yeah, but they about to privatize Coda though.
Yep. I heard that as well. But I also heard they're gonna build a second track. So
Oh
sort of
wow.
like Jersey, where you got the two tracks at Jersey. So you may not be able to get on Coda, but you might be able to get on, Little Coda.
Yeah. But they have a couple tracks. They have a couple tracks, not too, in San Antonio, I think they have a track. They got a track in El Paso.
Right.
So it's places where people can race here in Texas.
Right.
But you won't have that feeling like you about
At
to
Coda. Yeah.
overtake Marquez like at Coda or
Yeah.
riding by the tower. But
Right.
like they said about the privatize it, and you know what I had when I had did the research on it. I did the research on how much it cost, and I think it was like for everything, I think it was like 70,000 for for Coda, right?
Right. Right. Right.
And I was like, hey, look, I think I forgot what I was like. I think I said like if we get 700 people to, I mean, a certain amount of people to pay $700, then we could do it. And
Right.
even as I was like in the group saying like, man, that's a lot of money, but I'm just saying, man, the opportunity, man,
Yeah.
it's the
Oh yeah.
opportunity. Like
Yeah.
who wouldn't pay? I know it. Sometimes $700 might be steep for some people, but the opportunity to ride on a professional track, man, that's something that you could take to the grave with you or tell your great grandkids, hey, look, I've been on that track before. Here's what I was on it,
Yeah.
a picture or something.
Yeah, I'll say sign me up because that's exactly what I want to do. I got
Right,
a bucket list of tracks that I want to go to, and Coda is one of them.
right.
My Panigale's being built just to go do track days, and I just want to go get all the big tracks in the U.S. Once I'm done in the U.S., shipping that bike to Europe, and I'm gonna do the
Yeah.
same thing here. You know what I'm saying? So I think there are a lot of people that would jump on situations like that because they got bucket lists tracks that they want to go to and so yeah, there's definitely an opportunity there. And it, I mean, I get it, why they want to go privatize and stuff like that because when you make it exclusive it's easier to put the money up, right?
Oh,
um
absolutely.
you know,
Absolutely.
you know what I mean, because everybody wants it, and so
Right.
it's going to be easier for them to make the same money they're doing with less effort.
Right.
But I
And they still
think,
got you got to pay taxes and everything else. And if nobody's there using it, then they're not gonna
right,
make any money.
but they should do it for the love. You
Right.
think
They
of
should.
you think of the places, when you look at all the different. I didn't get this until maybe a year ago, or whatever. I think I was at an event, and it just made me realize like people that put events together, like they need a lot of credit, a lot of applause, a lot of things because it's like they could just stay home and just do the same thing for themselves.
Yeah, they could. They
You know
can.
what I'm saying? And
They
not put the
can.
effort in to make other people happy.
Right.
Or play. How do you
Everything.
Yeah, right. Whether it's a poetry event, comedy event, music event, whatever the case is, the people that say, "Hey, you know what? I'm putting an event on." They don't. There's like, yeah, they walk away with something, but like at the end of the day, the effort. What I'm saying? You could just turn on the music and just not deal with it. And so I realized, like, man, you know what? If nobody put a track day on, I wouldn't have a track day to go to. Right? If there was not, no one decided to have a race organization that you can come and race your motorcycle, I wouldn't have that place to go to. Same thing in the dance hall or whatever thing. Like if they didn't decide to do this thing, I wouldn't have this thing to go to. And
Right.
it's not, you know, it's not easy. You know what I'm
No, it's
saying?
not.
And so I give a lot of credit to people that do these things because if they didn't do it, we wouldn't have NASCAR, we wouldn't have the NBA, we wouldn't have these things at the highest level because somebody decided like, hey, this might be something that we should do. And I don't think the people that started it sat here and say, oh, we're gonna be billionaires.
Yeah. They just want to find people in their community that share the same passion. Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's a beautiful thing. So I do hope that they figure out a way that they can make it, available, and maybe by them doing this, other people decide to do something else, and that allows people to have a place. Because you always got to have that stepping stone, so we can progress. Because if there's a disconnect between the people at the top and everyone else, then the people at the top eventually just gonna get old and they ain't gonna see nothing.
Right. It's not gonna be anything to do anymore.
It ain't gonna be anything to do anymore, man. Man, I really appreciate you coming on. I definitely would love to have you on and chop it up about MotoGP and World Superbike and all that
Man.
stuff. For sure, man.
I'm all. Hey, look, man, I'm retired, man. You send a message, I'm ready, man. I'm always ready.
All right, no doubt. My name is Rex25. It's the Be Forever Cool podcast. 2 wheels, one chain. Peace.
All right, brother.